Hello, one and all, and welcome to the Sophisticulture Podcast. Welcome back to the Sophisticulture Podcast. We have an amazing guest with us today, a longtime contributor of Obscure, and my favorite person to Yap film with, Farah Sadek, is in the building. I'm going to bring her on screen in 1 second. We're going to be talking about Wuthering Heights. If you've not watched it and you don't want spoilers, now would be the time to run away. But also, the book has been out long before you were born, so, I mean, let's let's be real, you kind of know what happens in the book. We will also hopefully get time to talk about what's been going on at Berlinale and also the America's Next Top Model documentary. But first, she's the coolest person that writes about film in London, in my opinion, and the number one person I want to talk to about Wuthering Heights. Please welcome to the Sophisticulture stage, Farah Sadek. Hello, honey. Am
What?
I pronouncing Sadek correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it, yeah.
What an amazing introduction. I've always wanted one of those, like podcasts, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes, you're here. You're here. This is. I'm so glad we have it back now as a thing because I mean, I'm always yapping in the DMs and stuff with everybody about film, but I know there's especially around Wuthering Heights specifically, it's not the same if you're not doing it properly in person chatting. So I was gonna say, when did you see it opening weekend? Did you watch it opening weekend?
I saw it in the multimedia screening. I think that was 2 days
Awesome.
or 3 days before.
What was the vibe like at the multimedia? Was it giving everyone is a fan and wants to help out, or was it giving like no one was excited to, or everyone was concerned?
The vibes were definitely. Oh my gosh! I hope Warner Brothers are not listening to this.
No, I'll hide it. I'll block them from the
No,
channel.
but like I think everyone, like I've spoken to a lot of people that are in the sphere, and everyone was just
Mm.
like, like I'm not like I don't have like a lot of hopes, but a lot of them were like, oh, I loved Saltburn, or like I think most people were like actually do like Saltburn. I think that's the popular opinion right now.
I agree.
So everyone's like, you know what, I'm excited, but I think when we came out, people were like, the
Mm.
word great gowns was said.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns. I would love to hear kind of what your journey was with your opinion on Wuthering Heights because I think mine I am a contrarian, and so when everyone was saying how much they weren't gonna enjoy this thing, I was like, what if she's done something really inventive? What if Emerald Fennell has actually done something really interesting here? And also I really did rate how much she was standing 10 toes down in her decisions, even if they were bad decisions, because I just rate a woman being confident in public. I'm never gonna dunk in that regard, but I was concerned because that level of disregard for source material with that level of confidence it's going to stir backlash, which I'm sure was partially the point, but it is also a harbinger of things to come. And then I finally got around to seeing it after opening weekend in a pretty empty theater, and I was just horrified. Horrified. So I'd love to hear first from you kind of what your journey was with your opinion of the film.
Well, the thing is, I did not read the book, right?
Mm,
So I didn't go in with any like preconceived notions.
mm,
I deliberately I wanted to read the book, but then also like I wanted to consume the film as its own thing. Like for
yeah,
me, I do think of them as different mediums, and as long as
yeah,
you like sort of at least carry the themes of the source material, then it's fine. You can take all the liberties you want.
yeah.
So then, like when the casting came, I was like, I like Margot, I like Jacob. I'm not sure how fit they are for these roles, but fine. I love what's her name, Alison Oliver.
Oh, oh, don't get me to lying. Let me check. Let me check. This is the benefit of hold on, it's giving me the actual book. I'm like, no, the film. Alison Oliver, yes.
Alison Oliver. I did not see her, but like I've heard that I've seen that people have a good opinion of that, and I love Shazad Latif.
Oof.
So
Oh, he was
he was
brilliant,
really
Shazad.
good.
Oh
I
my
think he was my favorite part
gosh.
of it, honestly.
Oh, he was so he is such a brilliant and nuanced actor. And I should also say, my friend Dana had an interview with him in Shown magazine. So everyone go check that out. Dana Ribot interviewed him for Shown magazine. Sorry, continue, Farah.
So basically, like, I went with no preconceived notions. I was a bit apprehensive because the I'm not a big fan of Promising Young Women. I've enjoyed
That
Saltburn
is,
20. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can you quickly really quickly do like a recap on Promising Young Woman, because I have not watched it and I can never get past the first 5 minutes of that film. What's the vibe with Promising Young Woman? I don't know. Some people hate it.
It's so basically, like, that, like, her best friend got assaulted, and then, like, the best friend, like, killed herself. That was the thingy.
Right,
And
right. Oh
then,
yes, 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 yes.
yes. And then she
How
sets
did you
out,
feel
like, on
about
a
it?
revenge plot, basically, to I think they were in med school, if I remember correctly. And then she quit med school because of what happened. And then the whole thing was just like a, like, revenge rape, like, plot.
Got you. Got you. And
Uh,
did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it vibes?
well, I did not like the ending for me. Like, the thing is, like I said, great gowns, great visuals. I love Carey Mulligan. I think
Mm.
she's really, really great. And I really loved, like, I remember everyone was, like, really surprised when the whole, because, like, she's with, like, Bo Burnham for a while, and then, like, they have this, like, montage of, like, all the romantic stuff, and then, like, the scene turns, like, dark afterwards because she realizes that he's friends with um yes. So, like, it was such an interesting, this was actually a really interesting part of the film.
Yeah.
I did not love the ending. I don't know how much you wanna know about the ending.
You can spoil me, but I'll just tell everybody in the podcast, skip about 60 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled for the ending of Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, so basically she just, like, at the end she gets them all in the house. She, like, pretends that she's, like, a stripper, and she gets them all in the house, and she, like, ties the rapist up, and she tells him who she is, and then he kills her, and then she, like, makes it so, like, she had the whole thing planned, basically. She was
Planned.
like,
Oh,
yeah,
got
she was
you.
like,
So it's like he's set up for murder.
yes. And then she, like, the police come, and then they go, like, to his wedding. Basically, they take him to prison from his wedding. I was like, I'm not really sure how I feel about her dying in that. For me, that made it too, like,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's like it's yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, as someone who hasn't hearing it as like a plot instead of like watching the film, I just feel like maybe that again, I'm noticing this in Fennell films where we end in a place that feels like a real tragedy, but there's no like I don't know. I'm her endings don't work for me. The Saltburn ending didn't work for
Mm.
me. The Wuthering Heights ending didn't work for me. But yeah, sorry, continue. So you didn't quite like the ending of Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I feel like it's the endings really that go wrong.
I don't like them. They don't land for me.
Mm. So yeah, like I said, like I wasn't really happy with it. I mean, I always keep saying, the summer of Murder on the Dance Floor, that was a good summer. Either way, that
That
was
was
that was
Brat
the
Summer, no?
no, it's different. I think it was the year
Was it
before.
not Brat Summer? Was it not Brat? Oh, it's all melting
Girl,
together in my head, you know.
I think that was summer of 2024 actually.
Oh, there you
So I
go.
remember
There
this
you
because it was
go.
on every DJ's, like, play. It was a fun time. It was a fun time.
Wait, but Brat, no, wait.
That was
Because
last year, no?
Brat Summer was 2024 because it was the election. It
Shut
was
up.
the
Are you
American
serious?
election. It was Brat Summer.
Are you joking?
Yeah,
But was it last year?
2025 was Trump. So the election happened the year before in 2024.
Oh my god.
Kamala is Brat happened it that summer, 2024.
Shit!
Yes! Brat in 2024. Oh my god!
I
But
feel like
Brat
we're in
summer
the worst
took forever.
timeline. This is how we're measuring time.
We're measuring it by when cringe political memes happen. Like we'll remember 2024 as being Kamala's Brat, and 2025 we're all Charlie Kirk, and it just we just measure time that way.
Did not
Anyway,
think that.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Great. No. Yeah, so I did not, but I was like, you know what? For some reason I did really love the trailer.
Mm.
I thought it was a nice, like, for Wuthering
What
Heights.
for Wuthering Heights?
Yeah. I thought it was, I thought it was like there's something that's happening.
Mm.
And you know me,
Nice
I'm a romantic
gowns.
girly. I'm a romantic girly, and I was like, okay, you know what? It's gonna be so different from the source material, but
Mm.
she's gonna be 10 toes down on, like, she's gonna stand down to make it a proper romance, right? Like,
Right.
she's not gonna compromise or anything.
Right.
Wrong.
Wrong. My lord. It's like, okay. I'll let you finish kind of your overview, but I really do want to get into the issues I had with the intimate scenes
Mm,
and how little chemistry there was between Margot Robbie and Jacob
yeah.
Elordi, and how you can miss the mark like that so much. Anyway, but basically, yeah. So you did not get the romance you were looking for.
No, not really.
Such a
It was,
shame.
it's funny because it's funny that you mentioned this, because the day after I've seen Wuthering Heights, I went to another screening, and then there were like some ladies that were like a bit old and posh, very very posh, and then they
Mm.
were talking about, oh, like, Wuthering Heights did not land for me, and I was like, okay, like, we're gonna have a conversation, right? And then they were
Mm.
like, I thought that the sex was too explicit, and I was like,
Oh.
and
Oh
it,
wait.
and it was so funny to me because this immediately showed me the kind of demographic that Emerald was shocked, like, she made this movie for them to be shocked
Mm.
by, but not
Mm.
like the actual rest of the population.
No.
Because this is not scandalizing at all. I remember
Mm.
I saw this, like, one scathing review that was like, a Wuthering Heights that you can watch with your parents.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Fennell found dead in a ditch. That is so funny. No, because I mean it is. I mean it is. I mean it is gonna be an uncomfortable watch with like very conservative parents, but it is very much a version. It is also I only found out none of these sex scenes are in the book. So like
Mm.
Bronte Emily Bronte didn't write any of those kind of intimate parts into the book. I think they kiss like once in the book, and it's all just like
Oh.
yearning in the
Mm.
book. Which, of course, we love a good yearning book. But I'm I'm fascinated by the concept of Fennell going to Warner Brothers and going, listen, we're going to add a bunch of sex scenes to this very old, beloved British book, and everyone's going to love me for it. And Warner Brothers said, where do I sign? And I say that with love to Warner Brothers because they made Sinners and Superman last year, and I have no notes on those films. Those are
Oh,
two
yeah.
of the most brilliant films that were released last year. So I have no beef, but my producer brain goes into like they were sure that there was going to be a massive demographic that would love this film or they would not have greenlit it, and I'm struggling to find that demographic. Maybe they're too scared to speak up right now, but like I'm finding it difficult to find the demographic that found this film to hit exactly where they wanted it to
Mm.
be, aside from other people like Emerald Fennell. Those people, if I that I have in my circle, they have no issues with it, and they're like, I would have liked Heathcliff to be a brown guy, but like otherwise, it was brilliant. I loved that there was like this elaboration on XYZ, and they loved Margot Robbie's performance. A lot of people loved Margot Robbie's performance, but there is not actually yet. I don't think I've seen in like reviews anybody show me the demographic that unequivocally loved this. Like,
Mm.
and that's what is fascinating to me, because I think that shows how the delta to which Fennell is behind the culture. Because I think this film would have ate like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you put Margot
Exactly. Yeah.
Robbie and Jacob Elordi type people in a film like this, and it would have been like 50 Shades of Grey. Like it would have just, it would have done numbers on numbers. But I think that the world has changed.
Yeah, this really makes sense. Yeah. I mean, me personally, I did not think it like I just wish that she was actually like, if she wants to make it different, if she wants to make it like an erotic, romantic, whatever,
Mm,
fine. I respect someone that has a different vision,
right.
but I don't think that she actually committed enough to make it that. I think she chickened out on both
Mm.
ends, on making it something else and on sticking to the original like themes.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And I mean there's been a theory, and I don't know how valid this theory is genuinely, because I have not also I haven't watched Gone with the Wind, and I haven't read any of the materials involved of any of this. But there's a theory that Emerald Fennell actually wanted to adapt Gone with the Wind, but because it's quite a racist book or a racist film, she it wouldn't have been approved. So she made kind of something approximating a cross between Wuthering Heights and Gone with the Wind. I don't know to which degree that's true, but it does start to explain kind of a little bit more of the extenuating liberties she took. But again, like it's yeah, I'm thinking what has happened here is the culture has moved beyond films like this, and with the lack of kind of commitment, like you said, to like, okay, well, if we're going to do this in the wrong way, let's do like, if we're like committing one way or the other, if we're going to completely reimagine this, why call it Wuthering Heights? And if we're going to go, you know, and make a Wuthering Heights film, why go that so far off the meridian?
Yeah, this is absolutely how I felt. Um
Mm,
because I've done like some readings afterwards, and things I like I said, like I have no issues with people taking liberties,
mm,
because that was like a lot of discourse that people like, you don't say this to someone like Guillermo del Toro for like taking
yeah,
liberties with like Frankenstein. And I agree,
true.
people really, a lot of it does come from like, I think filmmakers can do take all the liberties they want, but I just need some commitment to that, if that makes sense. I think
Yeah.
Guillermo, he committed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he had a very specific thing he was trying to achieve. And I think a lot of people, to be fair, a lot of people had issues with his adaptation too. Hold on one second, let me just quickly check audio. Hold on. I think we have a little bit of an issue. So yeah, I think I know for a fact that a lot of people had issues with the way Guillermo del Toro adapted Frankenstein, and they were like, a woman should have adapted it. There's issues here. Why was he seeing it as a god movie when it's a dad movie, and it's a dad movie, but it's not a dad movie, and it's actually about her losing, because it was Mary Shelley's book, and so they're like, oh, it should have been adapted by a woman. And it's like, well, not only do you get The Bride, which comes out next month, which is adapting similar material by a woman, but we also got Lisa Frankenstein. We've had many adaptations of the book by women.
I love
But
Lisa Frankenstein.
I have not seen it yet. I'm looking forward to though. I think I need to do like a Frankenstein and now like I need to go from, because I've watched all the old Frankensteins. I haven't watched any of the new ones. But I think people had a lot more they were able to give Del Toro a lot more leeway with the stylistic changes he made, whereas with Fennell, I think the well was poisoned when she cast a white boy as Heathcliff, and no one has been comfortable with any of the decisions she made since. And I'm again like you, I'm very much of the mind that like any filmmaker can take any liberties, and I'm very much a champion of authorship. So like you're allowed to take as many liberties as you want and explain it to nobody. You don't have to explain any of it, right? It's your vision. But like you said, I don't think there was enough commitment to that vision in the film. A lot of confidence in the press tour, but not enough commitment in like the actual film to really, yeah. I agree that there was just no chemistry. It made everything so awkward and stilted for me that, you know, you were watching. I think I put it in my notes. I read my notes for TikTok the other day, and I said at one point, it's difficult because everyone is hot and none of this is horny. Like, everyone is hot, everyone looks great, and it all looks very pretty. But I don't believe anyone when they say that they are attracted to one another in that film. It all feels very contrived. Um, so yeah, I completely agree. And what was your reaction to, or what were your thoughts on the fact that the two antagonists of the film were people of color? Hong Chow and we literally just mentioned his name 2 seconds ago. I am such a goldfish.
Oh,
Shazad Latif.
Shazad Latif. Yeah, yeah.
They were the two antagonists, and they were both the only two people of color in the film.
Yeah, yeah, I did not love that.
Because it adds another layer to it. It's like, okay, so you couldn't cast a brown boy as Heathcliff, but you did cast both of the villains as people of
Yeah.
color. What do you talk like? You know, what are you trying to say?
A lot of people are gonna tell you, oh, like you see colors too much. This, you can't really, you can't. I don't know, like, I did not like that.
I'm literate in media. I am noticing patterns. I'm not sitting
Yeah.
here, you know, if I think it was conspicuous to me. And I think that's what happens when, and I think this is what a lot of the industry have been saying, race blind casting is very foolish. Race blind. If you're doing like, it doesn't matter who's which, but let's acknowledge that if you put a certain character as a certain race, that is going to insinuate things subliminally, subconsciously, thematically. And so being intentional about those choices is important. I think that kind of Nia DaCosta way of doing things is the only way you can do it without stuff like this happening. Because I think if we just go, we're race blind, you start having issues like this, where it's like, well, you know, our main characters had to be Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, you know, because that was what was going to get the film funded, and that's the vision I had. Two hot people going at it. That's what the audience wants. And then these other characters, well, we have to cast them as people of color because we don't want to look like we're doing kind of an all right rendition of Wuthering Heights. How weird. But if you're not conscious of the fact that you've cast an Asian woman and an Arab man as the primary people keeping these two white people apart, like, how did we get to the edit bay and not realize?
Yeah. I literally don't know what to say.
It's such a choice. It's such a choice. I would say both. I again, I don't think it was intentional, but I think both characters became the protagonists for me. Specifically, Nellie ended up being the protagonist for me because she's the person to me that learns a lesson. And if in a film, the person that learns the lesson is basically the protagonist, and you see on Nellie's face at the end when she realizes that she may be responsible for Kathy's death, what lesson she's learning there about her own angers and resentments against Kathy throughout her life, which, by the way, the film very easily and completely justifies. So it's not like in that specific sense Nellie is getting like villainized, in my opinion. It's like, oh, it's clear why Nellie doesn't like Kathy, but oh, be careful not to hate her so much or not to cause so many issues in other people's lives, because you may end up kind of assuming that she's just playing a game when actually she's dying. And I thought that was where I saw most of the film. Most of the film's actual structure and development was happening with Nellie and with Hong Chau's performance for me. And that was a shame because I just was waiting for Nellie to show up. And I was like,
I mean, she is the narrator in the book, I think.
Well, there you go. There you go. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That makes so much sense.
I think in the book, from what I've heard, she is the narrator of all of it, and she's telling the story to the person that is renting out. What's the threshold? Oh, I forgot what it's called.
The other house.
Yeah. So she's telling the story to him.
Wow, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah,
That makes sense.
which is again, for me personally, I literally did not hate Nelly or Edgar at all. But then
No.
also casting Isabella as white and then making him her ward, because I thought they were gonna be together. Like when I thought that he was courting her in that scene.
Right.
I was like, what
Right.
is
That is, but you see, like, again, it's like, it's that thing of like, we did it race blind, and it's like, well, this seems a bit more intentional than blind, doesn't it? Because it's like, well,
literally,
then you've done all this backbreaking work so that by the time Isabella is on her knees with a leash, she's also a white woman. Like, you
girl,
had to make sure that once you got to that
puppy
image,
play in a
that it
Wuthering
was
Heights
also
film.
right.
None of these words are in the Bible.
I was just like, oh, okay, I get what's happened here. We've really bent over backwards so that when there is a sexy scene that a white woman needs to insert themselves into, it's a white girl sitting there. All
The
this
thing is,
logic.
if you're gonna make it like every single film you're gonna make, it's gonna be like we're gonna make the poor people actually like resentful of the
Yeah,
rich people, and they're gonna be the bad people. And
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
girl,
I'm finding the class politics of Fennell's work, the pattern of this class politics, very difficult to ignore. Like, even without the context of Promising Young Woman, Saltburn is like an aristocratic uh fever dream of like, oh God, what if the poors, outsmart us and take all of our things. And now with Wuthering Heights, there's this sense of like, yeah, that there is some immutable trait of degeneracy in the poor that I didn't find to be. I think if it, like you said, if there'd been more commitment to a point of view here beyond horniness, she may have been able to say something profound about this. And again, if I felt this was a satirical take, I would have thought that it was very profound. But I don't think it was satirical. I think it was she was playing it straight. She was like, no, this is true. It's true that sleeping around with Heathcliff too much will make you just as bad as the pause. It's like, okay, ooh. um so it's a difficult pattern to ignore. I mean, I was wondering what you think about kind of how Fennell keeps approaching class in her films. It's like she keeps coming back to it.
yeah, I don't remember any class. I mean, I guess they were sort of upper middle class and Promising Young Women. I think they went to like I might be making this up. Probably like it was like an Ivy League. Literally, I do not remember. But
Right.
I, if we just go to Saltburn,
Yeah.
um, I think it was so funny because she was like I don't know what point she was trying to make, but then the twist was that like he's not actually poor. He's just like cosplaying as poor. Girl,
He's no, it's worse, honey. To give you the British class politics of it all. No, he's not poor. He's middle class, which is even worse. He's middle class. He was comfortable growing up, was he? Oh, that's disgusting. Like, it was
and
so.
then
It's
he's still like he's still resentful of the rich, like because like everyone is after us, the
yeah,
rich.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no that you can be poor, that's fine, you're a degenerate, it's okay. But God forbid you're a middle class social climber. Now you're the worst of the worst. And
Like
yeah.
I really don't go into any of her films with those preconceived notions, but they literally just hit you in the face.
Yeah. I have to say, every time I've gone into a Fennell film so far, of Saltburn and Wuthering Heights, it has been a bunch of people telling me what to think beforehand, and I make a concerted effort to be like, if I am going to love this, let this hit me the right way. Like, I let me I'm ready for this to blow my mind. I'm ready for this to be, because and this is like maybe me being a bit too woke. I am always going to give women 10 times more chances than men.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
like I will turn up to the next Fennell film. I will, because I don't feel she's done anything like terrible yet to waste my time egregiously. Like, versus I'm not going to the final Tarantino film, and I'm gonna say that now. I will not be attending that film. He's wasted my time one too many times. And if the girls want to say, "Oh, well, when did he waste your time?" We could sit and have that conversation
Literally.
at the hot takes. We'll have that conversation at
I'll
the hot
join
takes,
for that
okay?
as well.
Exactly. But like, every time I give her the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like every time I come out of those films I go, I don't think I agree with the message of this, I don't think I agree with the worldview of this. And in some cases, you promised me, horny, smutty Wuthering Heights, and I feel that that was not what was delivered. And also, what is her thing about sleeping with dead people?
Yeah.
And it keeps happening, and it keeps happening. Like, there were like two different types of instances like that in Saltburn, and then like, I don't know, her fascination with the eroticization of sex is very gothic, but it is also, again, lack of commitment to it. Like, there was someone that mentioned Nosferatu as being the example of something that a film recently that had really gone there in terms of like
Mm,
gothic, like the gothic way of approaching the idea of the eroticization of death.
mm.
And like, it's this tradition within literature, and then there's this Nosferatu adaptation. Again, I haven't watched Nosferatu yet. I'm starting to sound like I don't watch any films ever. When
I haven't. I don't worry. Yeah.
I haven't seen a single thing. I've never seen a movie in my
Things
life.
get ahead. It's just
Say again?
they like things get ahead of you. There are a lot of films.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, and also we have jobs as well, like
Yeah.
actual jobs we have to go to and pay our bills. So it's like I can't sit and keep up with the entire calendar. And Nosferatu is one of the ones I dropped last year. Speaking of ones I dropped last year that I'm really worried about getting a hold of before the Oscars is Sentimental Value. Have you seen it yet?
But yeah, it's really good.
Ah,
Yeah.
God damn it!
I
I'm gonna have to bribe someone at this point for a copy of that film,
think
because
I think it's still in cinemas. I
is it?
think. I think
I
maybe
haven't seen
Picture
it anywhere
House.
so far. Oh, well then, girl, you'll catch me at
Yeah,
the Picture House tomorrow. Shit,
girl.
I need to see that film. But yeah, no, it's this idea that like she keeps like, again, if Saltburn and Wuthering Heights are 2/3 of her filmography so far, a pattern is emerging.
Mm,
And I'm, how around about this time in the week, an art, or like Monday, Tuesday, sometimes the article will come out after the first week of box office, and it'll be like, Fennell set to write da 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 for,
yeah.
for whatever, for Warner Brothers. I'm surprised we haven't had an announcement of what she's doing next. I'm not to kind of rush the cycle, but like, I'm interested to see what the next thing is. Again, because Promising Young Woman kind of breaks that mold a little bit, but the 2/3, like Saltburn and Wuthering Heights, have a very clear point of view. Nice gowns, beautiful gowns, insane sex scenes, and then like insane concepts of sex, like very, very extreme concept of sex, and then just very plain toast sex scenes. And then like a lot of death and a lot of class politics. I Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I was reminded she wrote Bad Cinderella.
Oh, I heard about this. I think literally yesterday because I saw someone shared that video of the
And
press.
I mean, I didn't know that. I knew that her family were very close with Andrew Lloyd Webber. I didn't realize she'd written Bad Cinderella. Um, as like, do you remember how they cancelled Rachel Zegler when she was like, "Our Snow White doesn't need a prince to save her. Like,
Literally,
she can do battle by herself," and like they cancelled her
Rachel
for
Zegler can. Was it?
it.
Everyone else now can laugh, but Rachel Zegler can only chuckle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It like, Bad Cinderella is like the Cinderella version of that quote, where it's like, actually she can do battle by herself. And it was Andrew Lloyd Webber that wrote it from a book from Emerald Fennell, and it was such a, it didn't do very well as a musical. And for many reasons. I think also it was bang on in the middle, just post COVID, when everyone was still too scared kind of to go to the theaters and stuff. and it was one of those shows that kept stopping because the crew kept getting sick with COVID, right? So it failed insofar as it was entirely too early to market. But there was the other aspect of it, which was that it, as far as I remember, let me 100% check on the Googles. But as far as I remember, the concept of this thing, um, was that she was like ostracized for being too cool. Like it's not that she's Cinderella, it's that she's like she's the scapegoat of the town, and like everyone's against her because she's too cool and her steak is too juicy and her lobster's too buttery. Like it was that kind of thing. Loosely adapted from the classic Cinderella story, the musical recasts gender relationships, explores the theme of beauty shaming, and Cinderella changes her appearance to secure love, but discovers it's better to be true to oneself. Plot
Wait, they say
changes.
like, is it like the thing that's like, oh my gosh, she got bullied because she was too pretty?
Yeah, it's literally that.
They chased her
It's literally
around the
that.
playground. They were like, pretty girl.
Oh no, you're too we can't play with you. You're too pretty. I'm actually gonna put this on the screen so that everyone can read along with the Wikipedia. Hold on. Let's get the window up. Um Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cinderella. Plot changes to Cinderella include Cinderella being made a scapegoat by the town, the queen colluding with the stepmother. I don't understand how there's both a queen and a stepmother. Oh no, because that's like the queen. I don't know. I know. Who knows? Who knows?
Think of it like Bridgerton. I'm right. Bridgerton is my main Cinderella reference right now.
Listen, I have not watched season 4. How are we doing? Is it okay? Is it still?
It's
Is it
so
still?
good. It is
Uh,
so.
my favorite.
Just so you
That's so
guys
good to
know,
hear.
I'm not a hater. I love things a lot. No, I've been waiting for the season since literally season 1, so I'm so
Wow.
happy.
Oh my gosh. Did you? Because you read the books, right?
And not all of them, but I just really loved Benedict.
No. Yeah. He's also, come to find out, the actor who plays him, like his grandma was Indian.
Girl, when he revealed that, I was like, because my friends are always like, oh my gosh, hey, I like an ethnic
POC
man.
wins. Yes, I like an ethnic man. Yes, I was gonna
Could
say
never tell me
POC
anything
diversity
anymore.
win. I love that he waited this long to tell everybody. He was like,
Literally,
no,
like,
no,
what
no,
the hell?
I have it in my pocket. When it's time, it's time. I'm gonna gag the girls. It's gonna be
It's
amazing.
giving, oh my gosh, like ethnic
Yeah,
season.
I was gonna. No, it literally. He waited until this moment, and then he was like, "Actually, you know what? This is the season where you watch two people of color fall in love with each other."
We
It's
love him for that.
and we love him for that because so far it's been the interracial thing, which we love. Shonda, we love it, and so it's nice. POC
See, this
King,
is,
we love
for
that.
me, this is when, like, would you call this blind? I don't know, blind casting. This is the only time it works for me. People say it doesn't work for them, but it works. This one works
Well,
for me.
the reason it works with Bridgerton is that Bridgerton sits outside of history and time.
Yes.
So it's already inaccurate, and it does not have to answer to the continuity of time. People can go, but everything's fictional. Everything doesn't have to be but because it happens to such a large extent in Bridgerton, because it is everyone all the time just randomly being put in different positions, there's always a counterbalance to um uh any portrayals of any specific race as being bad or good, or being upper class or lower class, because there's always someone else you can point to. So I think a lot of people talked about the bad representation of one of the black girls in season 1 who was married to the boxer, I
Oh,
think. I
Marie.
can't
No, no,
remember.
no. Boxer. I thought you meant like Marina, like the when Colin wanted to marry her.
Yes, I think I can't remember which one of those characters it was that people were discussing that it was a very negative portrayal of black
Yeah,
women. But when you counter that with the fact that the queen is a black woman,
yeah.
and you counter that with the fact that the guy that owns the gentleman's club, his wife is also a black woman. There's
They're
like,
both black. I mean,
right,
oh, sorry, you mean like
exactly.
women? Yeah, yeah.
No, but yeah, it's that thing of like there's so many people of so many different backgrounds everywhere all the time that there's never any one entrenchment. So like with Wuthering Heights, it's one film over the course of 2 hours that is meant to be set in history somewhat. It has a time period, it has a place. It's not camp. It's well, on some levels.
Too early to tell.
But it's a little more grounded than a Bridgerton, let's say. And it's also, I think that might partially be what's been the issue with Wuthering Heights, is that she treated this classic Gothic novel as if it was a Harlequin novel. And a Harlequin novel is a Bridgerton. Bridgerton is a very specific tone. It's almost like a soap opera, but set within a certain time period, and it has a certain, these books and these TV shows have a very certain tone, right? And she kind of brought that tone to a book that was like laden with a very different tone, and I think
It's
that's
a
what
really
she
good
really
read.
wanted.
I'm obsessed.
Right? She mixed it up, and like that would be fine if the book had elements that could be adapted that way, but then you'd need to, and I guess she did market it that way. It did feel like a bit of a Harlequin kind of cover when
Yeah,
you're
the
holding her like that.
marketing, yeah, it sets you up for something that is
Yeah,
just
but
not.
it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's. She took on a very. I don't know if this was on purpose, but she took on a very difficult, potentially impossible task, which is marrying Harlequin romance tone with a gothic uh century novel, a gothic 18th century novel, like taking something that was very much not Harlequin and turning it into kind of a pulpy soap opera Harlequin thing. And it didn't, I don't know, I guess people just couldn't, it wasn't computing. Like for instance, you can do a pulpy version of Pride and Prejudice, but people won't like it, which is why the new one with Emma Corrin feels like all the old ones, because it's following the tone of what people expect from Jane Austen. But you can do a pulpy version of Emma, and they did with
They
Anya
did.
Taylor-Joy,
Yeah.
because Emma is a basically the precursor to Harlequin novels. It was, but just without any of the bodice stripping, you know. Anyway, I say all that to say the reason you can just kind of completely blindly cast Bridgerton is that everyone's always diverse all the time. It's not like one or two roles, it's everyone.
Yeah.
But and then they keep it consistent within the family, which is the other thing. If you've got a white mum and a white dad, the kids are white. If you've got, like people are, they're keeping consistency there, so it makes internal logistical sense, and then
Yeah.
everybody's dating around. But also it's Fennell took wish fulfillment to a level with Wuthering Heights. She could have just called it something else and still had the same kind of story unfold.
Remember, like there was this first one because like there's how do you call it? Air quotes between Wuthering Heights. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it
Yeah.
means it's not gonna be Wuthering Heights. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a modern adaptation of Wuthering."
The cope. There was so much cope before this thing came out. People were coping. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's a shame. Anyway, before I completely lose track of time, I'm gonna call time on our coverage of Wuthering Heights. Do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I just want to say that I really went in with an open mind to it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like it because I think we needed something like this right now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it did not deliver. But again, I do want to talk about the good things. I really loved Shazad Latif in this. I really loved Alison Oliver in this. I loved Hong Chow.
Yeah, oh god, oh, that woman is just too good.
Yeah,
Oh, I saw
honestly,
the whole film through her eyes. Yeah, she was amazing.
she's amazing. Um, yeah.
Yeah. My only final thoughts on it is that despite all of this, I will still be turning up for the next
Yeah,
Berlinale
100%,
film,
100%.
because I think I want to have one more go at trying to understand what she's doing, because she's currently, for me, teetering on the edge of, oh, this is satire, how fantastic, and oh, she means this stuff. That's weird. And where she sits in terms of the jokes she's telling, it's not going to be enough for me to just ask her in person or interview her or whatever, because I believe really wholeheartedly in the idea that if you're an auteur, the work speaks for itself. So whatever the next film is, I am fascinated to figure out what's happening here. And after the third one, we'll find out whether or not, like, it'll put things in context. It's like fashion. You can't really work out what a designer is doing until they're on their maybe fifth or sixth collection, and then you can see a pattern of work. Whereas we're currently only on film 3, and I can't even get past the first 5 minutes of film 1. So I want more context here before I really
She's
pump the
definitely, I
game.
think what's really interesting is that she's definitely a better director than she is a writer.
Oh, and the girls have been saying she needs a
Yeah,
screenwriter. Oh, and I don't disagree. I don't
yeah,
disagree. I think I'd like to see another original from her. I don't want to see her adapt something next. I don't
yeah,
want another
yeah,
adaptation.
100%. Because I think
Um,
after watching this, I was like, maybe I was too harsh on Saltburn. I think I enjoy Saltburn.
right. I was gonna say I was very 50-50 on Saltburn until this, and I was actually like, you know what? There was something to, like, that
There
was
was
actually
something. There was something to it. There was, even if I didn't like what I was trying to say, it said something.
It did, and it was it had a lot more focus, I think, than Wuthering Heights. Wuthering
Mm,
Heights felt unfocused. Anyway,
yeah.
quickly before we go on to our hot takes and our recs of the week, and I want to try and get us out of here within the next what is it, 13 minutes. Um, I will check the chat in a second, but Farah, do you know kind of briefly what has been happening at Berlinale over the past week or so?
Yeah. Ugh.
Did you want to give the people a quick rundown of what happened?
Basically, everyone's been asked to be political, to say something political, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think the festival is political." And then everyone sort of, what was it? Ethan Hawke said something.
Ooh,
Wim
he pissed
Wenders,
me
Wim
off
Wenders,
bad.
gonna be.
Ugh,
I think Charlie XC actually kind of came out and she was like, "I think the festival is political." So that's
nice,
been nice.
nice. I agree. I oh my god, we've not been live this. Basically, when Wenders on that first panel was like, "Yeah, no, we don't have to talk about politics," and then Ethan Hawke broke my heart by saying, like, "I
Yeah.
don't think I'm informed enough to talk about stuff." Charlie nailed it, like you said. And the one thing I wanted to mention is there was a film called Blue Card that was made by a group of Sudanese filmmakers who applied for their visa to go, and they've been to Berlinale many, many times. They're very decorated filmmakers. They applied for their visa to go and screen the film at Berlinale with the German embassy in, I believe, Cairo. And they were rejected for their visa to attend Berlinale, something they had done years and years and years and years and years in the past, and were going to exhibit their film. And the German government gave the answer that it's because they believed that they were a migration risk. And so, because of that level of racism, they had to pull the film from the program at Berlinale, which is horrific, and it's such awful treatment of international filmmakers to say that they're a migration risk just because they maybe come from a nationality where a conflict is going on, when it's very clear within their paperwork that they were uh, incredibly well prepped to go there, exhibit the film, and return. They were not looking to migrate at all, or apply for any kind of those things. They they had been long time, and this is where it's like, oh, this isn't political. Well, clearly it is. Like, which films are getting to be exhibited, which governments believe which people are allowed in and not allowed in. And by the way, as a Sudanese girl who is also a British girl, you should be so lucky that they might want to migrate to frickin' Germany, man. Like, this, you know what I mean? Like,
We
you
need to
should be so
diversify the
lucky,
food.
right?
Ask anyone in Germany what they eat. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we eat like
mm,
kebab."
I was gonna say,
The German delicacy.
you are getting so much benefit from the people who have migrated to your country. And I also, if you're like, in my opinion, if you're an expat when you leave a country, but you believe that anyone coming into your country is a migrant, check check whether or not you are actually deeply racist, because you can't be an expat when you go to someone else's country and then the people that want to come to, like, if we're expats, we're all expats, okay? Expat,
Yeah, I see this
you
a
know,
lot in Egypt as well. British people call themselves expats, but here they don't let me call myself an expat, which is
you are an
hilarious.
expat. You're
Yeah.
an expatriate from Egypt. You are in, you know, that's, if we're going to one, you can't have different words for different people depending on whether or not
An expat
uh
is a white immigrant, basically.
right, which is so silly. Like, I'm a British national, but my grandfather was a Sudanese expat. You know, of course he was. You know, as is anybody. So that really upset me, that news, especially because, you know, I champion Sudanese filmmakers. We champion Sudanese filmmakers and Sudanese film, and the fact that there was now uh, a block for those filmmakers to show their films at this time is horrendous and horrific. And there's been a lot of filmmakers now boycotting Berlinale because of the way they've handled this. I think it's a real shame. It's preventing German audiences, but also international audiences, from being able to see a diversity of films that they're used to seeing. It's not even like we're saying that they should be exposed to new stuff. Like, Europeans and the European festival circuit is used to seeing these stories year round, and the idea that we're suddenly shutting that kind of access down is very very, very disappointing to me. And I
Yeah.
hope they get another selection somewhere in Europe, maybe at Cannes or LFF or whatever they do throughout the year, so that certainly critics like me and just critics generally can get to see the film and boost it. And the final thing I want to quickly chat about before we do, actually no, we should probably skip talking about America's Next Top Model, because we literally only have, what, 5 minutes left before we have to end the podcast.
Let's do
Let,
the recommendation.
Yeah, let's do hot takes and recommendations, and we'll talk about Tyra Banks next week. Okay, so I just want to quickly do our ad read. Obscure is supported by you, the viewers, and our readers and our listeners. You can sign up for free and on our newsletter at obscure.co.uk and get all of our editorial to your inbox. Or you can become a paid subscriber, £5 a month or £52 a year, and support our coverage year round. And that's the kind of, honestly, that's the kind of support that means that I'm able to actually pay Farah when she covers films for us year round. So
Yay!
if you support us, we thank you very much. And if you're thinking of supporting us, thank you very much. Okay, hot takes. Do you have a hot take for us, Farah?
Oh my gosh, now I'm like, this is gonna be like, it's something that I want to talk about in length, but I'm saying that some actors need to think about being in supporting more than leading. There is layers to this, because I feel like most male writers only write good roles for women to be supporting.
True. Very
Yes.
true.
But also, I think some actors think that it's beneath them to be in supporting. But I personally prefer supporting actresses. Like, I feel like in the, not actresses, just in general, like supporting roles, I think are so underrated, and I think they're their own art form, and not everyone can be a supporting actor or actress.
No, I
And
agree.
I think people need to do some reflection about that.
I was gonna say, do you want to name names? But we can leave it there. We can definitely leave it there. I was
Well, I
saying,
mean, I was just telling Umnia before we started recording. I think that Davine Joy Randolph is a great example of this, because she's been consistently stealing the show in every single thing she's been in. High Fidelity, The Holdovers, Eternity, and I think people should look up to her when they think about what it means to be a supporting actor.
couldn't agree more.
Um, and because, like, when I was thinking about Wuthering Heights, I was like, when did I enjoy Margot Robbie the most? And I was like, actually, she was my favorite part of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I did not love except
Yes, which
for
I
her.
did not love.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Her performance was fantastic, and she didn't even have any lines.
exactly, yeah. So I'm saying, like, people really need to think about what they actually think about being supporting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's. I was saying to you before we started the call that, like, one of the best positions one of the best positions back in the day as a an actor was like character actor, that you can kind of disappear into a role and like you just be in, you'd be booked all year because you'd disappear into whatever role you're in. You'd be in like 8 blockbusters a year playing a side role that people really thought you nailed, and then they maybe didn't remember your name, but they always knew your face. And for a long time, up until kind of the late Paul Thomas Anderson stuff, this was where Philip Seymour Hoffman really thrived, was being this kind of character actor, supporting actor in even the early PTA stuff. It's just, I completely agree. It's so true that I think we've forgotten the lost art of supporting as being like a really important craft. And if people feel that they don't respect that enough and they go, I just want to be leading, that we lose out.
Especially when it leads to like, a category fraud. Because everyone's trying to get into supporting, but I'm like, you're not really supporting. You're leading.
That's tea. That is tea. Because the other thing is, what's Jacob Elordi doing in supporting for Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Hello?
True.
That's the leading role, in my opinion. But then you have to decide whether you're gonna, nominate Oscar Isaac for lead or not. And I feel like Oscar Isaac was supporting. Am I allowed to say that?
That is true. That is true.
I don't know. Anyway, that's my opinion. My hot take for this week. Are you ready? My hot take for this week. A lot of people have been chatting about Shrek on TikTok recently, specifically about whether or not Shrek is a cautionary tale. And it was this one girl that said Shrek's a cautionary tale because it's a story about how you can't make a man out of an ogre, but an ogre can make a man out of you. No, a man can make an ogre out of you. My hot take is anyone calling that woman media illiterate does not understand what media literacy is.
100%.
Though you may not like her reading, she did read it. Though you may not like her reading, she did read it. Though you may feel she missed parts of the reading or did not interpret things the way you might have interpreted them, you don't get to say she's media illiterate. She read the thing. She might be, misunderstanding Shrek in your eyes. She may be misunderstanding Shrek generally. There may be, elements of the sacred texts that are the Shrek franchise that you feel she may be overlooking. But when she said it from a place of analysis. There was analysis there. She had read the text, so the media had been littered. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah, I think people use this phrase too liberally now. They're like, 100%. Everyone that says an opinion that you don't agree with, they're like, oh, you don't get media. Like, no, you just don't agree with me, and that's fine.
It happens to me constantly. I'll give my reading on something. I'll go, media literacy is in the toilet. I go, no. Don't say I didn't read it. The media was literated. I literated the media. If you disagree with me, that's a disagreement. And that's my hot take, is that a lot of people are calling her, oh, this is a media literacy crisis. It's not a media literacy crisis. It is, you are now engaging in discourse about Shrek. And honestly, if you guys want to get into that swamp, you can go do that. I will not be partaking. Because it's Shrek. And now I love getting deep into kind of popular culture type stuff. I'm not going to lie. I love doing it. I love discussing the deeper contexts of all sorts of things. But Shrek specifically was something we put on in the background, specifically the DVD extras of Shrek 2, where you got to be on X Factor, right? Or whatever it was, America's Got Talent or whatever. And you got to do like a karaoke thing. Like that was the bulk of my connection to the Shrek franchise. I don't really care about those stories. They're not interesting to me. Maybe one day, but not to me. So I will not be getting into that swamp with the rest of the girls, but I will say, don't call the girl media illiterate. She read it.
He read it.
She just disagreed with you. Okay. Rex of the week. Do you have a recommendation of the week, Farah?
I do. I was thinking about this rom-com that I watched a couple of months ago, literally randomly in Picture House. It's called Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. It's a French film.
I
Have you seen it?
no, I haven't. I chased that film. I'm still chasing that film. 2.5 years I've been chasing that film. I have been wanting to watch that film for 2.5 years since it first premiered at one of these festivals. I can't remember which one. I have been trying. I think it was Santa Barbara. I have been trying to watch this film. What is it? Is it good?
It's really, really cute. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Oh my god, I'm so jealous. Jane Austen wrecked my life because she like goes on a writer's retreat, right? And she's
Yes, yeah.
right.
And there's like a guy that looks exactly like Hugh Grant, like exactly. It's kind of scary. Um, yeah, great film.
Oh,
I've wanted to make like a TikTok or something about it for ages because it really fell under the radar there.
100%. It was completely undercovered, and then I have not been able to get a copy of it to save my life. I am desperate to watch that film. Please do
We'll
make that
fix that.
TikTok.
We'll fix that.
Yes, please, please, please. My rec of the week, because it is now out in cinemas here in the UK and I believe also in the US, is The Secret Agent. There is a reason this has been nominated for Best Picture and why it is now the second Brazilian film to make it to the Oscar stage. It is a fantastic, very patient uh, film set in 1970s Brazil. I watched it at Cannes last year and it was 8 in the morning, and I had been up basically all night securing tickets for the 2 days after. So I was very tired and scared I was going to fall asleep. And despite the film being a very patient film, I didn't fall asleep once. It's also got a lot of levity and joy, but it is based under the dictatorship that happened in Brazil in the 70s and the issues that came with that and the dangers that came with that. But one of the most amazing performances from Wagner Maura, and incredibly well directed, and also I love films that discuss fascism without becoming bleak, because one of the big tools we have in our disposal against fascism is community, love, joy, looking out for one another, even if there's a lot of grief involved. And I think that's what The Secret Agent does amazingly well. I'm noticing that the Academy is awarding a lot of Brazilian cinema for talking about fascism because they don't want to talk too much about the actual fascism literally happening on their doorstep in America. But, a win is a win. So yeah, that is my recommendation of the week. And before we log off and Farah tells you where you can find her, I want to quickly let everybody know that on Sunday, March 1st, we are doing a Your Monster watch party to boycott Scream 7. And I'll be doing that with movie good or movie bad on, I believe it's called Telegraph or Telegram or one of these. It's like this Teleplay. I can't
Telegram.
remember. There's one of these streaming apps where it's a watch party.
Oh,
Teleplay, I think it's called. Anyway, we'll be doing it on there, raising
I
funds for
want to join that. I still
Palestinian.
haven't seen your monster.
Oh my gosh, we'll be simulcasting it on Netflix. So if you have, I think
Mm.
if you have a Netflix account, you're able to watch it with everybody at the same time. We're raising funds for Palestinians, boycotting Scream 7 together, and watching Your Monster, which is one of my favorite films of that year, which I believe was 2024 when it came out. Absolutely amazing film, so brilliant. It again, another film that marries horror and grief and levity, and is beautiful. And I won't spoil too much, but yeah, if you'd like to come join us for that, that's Sunday, March 1st. There'll be more information coming out on my TikTok and also Movie Good or Movie Bad's TikTok, but also we will email everybody. So sign up to the newsletter at obscura.co.uk for free and we will email you. Farah, my love, where can the people find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Film with Farah. Um, this is where you'll find me because I'm very chronically online. Um,
She is indeed, in the best way.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on here. I feel very honored.
Our complete and utter pleasure, honey. And also, you can read Farah's reviews of of a myriad of different films from the last couple of weeks, and also upcoming on Obscure on her author page. You just search Farah on the site, and you'll find all of her articles as well. Okay, have a great week, y'all. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. Signing off. Bye.
Bye.